start my story, testimony. I call it a testimony because it's true. And I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I really wanted to quit drinking, quit the drugs, and no self-help group was helping. I couldn't get anywhere with anything. And then I just kept getting worse and worse and worse, no matter how hard I tried to get better and better. I would go through months where I would be fine, and then when I would start back at it again, I was worse than when I quit. So 7 times over, I just kept trying and just worse and worse. So I'm laying in bed one night and I just said, "Dear God, please take this away from me. I'm really tired." And I woke up the next morning and no craving for alcohol whatsoever, completely gone. In that instant, he knew my heart, he knew I meant it, and he took it. But with that, Satan did not want to let go of me. And I think we have to understand as well the enemy that we are fighting in the battle, because it is a spiritual battle, spiritual warfare every day for everyone. And you can't fight if you don't know your enemy. And I knew the badness. I was really quite aware of the badness. So it was time for me to fight the badness and quit giving into the badness. And that's where my journey began. Because I wake up, I feel fine, everything feels good. But as the day goes on, I start feeling more sick and more sick. As I'm thinking that I'm probably having withdrawals, but it was different. Then I just started feeling tormented, completely tormented. No cravings again, no cravings, because the Lord knew I really wanted to quit. So the cravings go away. But then when I say tormented, I mean literally being poked at, blankets pulled off of me, hair pulled. I am literally being tormented. So I have my little boy there with me, and I make this bed in the living room on the floor because I don't feel well. And he sits there, and I keep getting up and down because I can't get rested. I'm extremely restless now. So I'm walking around trying to find some kind of peace. What am I looking for? You know, what am I, I'm fighting. I'm in a battle, literally not understanding the spiritual warfare that I was truly in at that point. It was literally physical for me at that point. I'm going up and down the hallway, and my son's like, and I just keep brushing stuff off of me. I lay down, the blankets are getting pulled off of me, and my son at this whole time is sitting right there. And I try to get up, and I do get up to get away from him because I don't want this bothering him. And I also know that I have been entertaining the demons for so long that they do not want to let go of me. And this is where I'm at. So now it's time to be a warrior. And so I keep rebuking and really just fighting, literally fighting. So I get my Bible out and I try to write the Lord's Prayer. Because I'm like, okay, I just want to get my Bible out. I just want to read. Lord, I know you're here. So as I'm trying to write, my arm keeps getting pulled back. And I literally cannot write the Lord's Prayer. Oh, what I'm doing it. I'm not stopping. And I still have that to this day, and I look at it because it doesn't even look like my handwriting because I was literally fighting to write the prayer. I did get it wrote, and at the end, when I wrote that, I put huge exclamation points because you are not going to win. So this is day 1, then day 2 goes on. My son is still sitting in the living room. With this, I look over at him. Now I'm standing in the kitchen to stay away from him because I don't want him exposed to this battle that I am truly in. And I look and I see this white cloud like over top of him. And he's fine. And I just know the peace when I see that I know that he's okay. So I just keep fighting my battle. So I go in the living room, or now I go into the bathroom, and I look in the mirror, and I look at myself, and I really am looking like death. I mean, I am pale, I have circles, I'm literally dying. So I go back into the kitchen, and I stand at the sink, and I just look at him, and I'm like, what do I do? And now all of a sudden, everything is getting fuzzy. My eyes are getting fuzzy. When you turn the TV off, and you see the fuzzy screen, well, it used to do that. So that's what I'm seeing, and I'm like, wow. So, and I'm still fighting, still not drinking, but I'm getting sicker. And I lay down in my room, and when I laid down, my lungs filled up with something, and I sit back up, and I start profusely just throwing up green stuff. Literally badness. The badness is all around me, and it's trying to take my life, period. It was trying to take my life. Satan was trying to take my life. The badness was trying to take me. And I kept laying, and then I would just sit right back up, and it just went on for a couple hours. Finally, I go back out into the living room, and I lay down on the floor, and I just lay there, and I put my arms out, and I'm like, oh, dear God, please do not let my son find his mother dead. And the next thing I knew, I felt the dirt. It felt like dirt, how I'm going to explain it, just falling down on me. I was literally descending. I felt myself dying. I am now dying. And I could feel it, I could see it, and I was going away. And it didn't feel happy. And so I just all of a sudden just reached my hand up, and I was like, Jesus, save me. He grabbed me in my living room by my hand, pulled me out of the depths, goes like this. I'm doing somersaults. He's like, Debbie, I'm turning your life around. And I'm just spinning in circles, like doing somersaults, and he's right there, right there. I'm looking at him. And the next thing I know, I'm sitting back down on the floor, and I lay there for a minute, and I sit up, and I'm like, wow, everything is clear. The scales have fallen from my eyes. Everything smells good. Everything looks pretty. Brady's still sitting there. Now, at this point, he has not moved. I have not fed him. He has not gone to the bathroom for going on days now, because he was taken care of. And the Lord made sure he was okay while I fought my battle. And when I sat up, I just felt everything was just beautiful all of a sudden. But I laid there, and then all of a sudden, I seen the wind come in the window, started at the top of my head. It just came in, went to my head, went all the way through my body. I could feel it cleansing every part of my body as it moved through my body, and then right out through my feet and right back out the window. So when people talk about seeing the wind, and when I see it in the Bible, anything that talks about the wind, wow, it was the Holy Spirit just came and completely cleansed me, completely took it all away and baptized me in the Holy Spirit. So I sit up, and then all of a sudden I see Jesus again. I see heaven, and it's so beautiful, you can't even imagine. I couldn't even explain it. There's nothing as beautiful. And he's standing there, and he says, tell her it's as beautiful as she thinks it is. Well, at this time, I had an intercessor, and she was in her prayer room in St. Louis, Ohio, my best friend Luann, praying for me, because everybody was so sick and tired of seeing me the way I was. And I had prayer warriors, and we all need them. And so when I told her, I called her immediately, and I knew, he didn't even say her name. I knew he was talking about her. And he said, tell her it's as beautiful as she thinks it is. I call her up. I said, hey, he told me to tell you. She starts bawling because she's like, I've never told anybody that. So it was a confirmation at this point of everything that just happened. And I got up, everything was different. Everything was different. My house smelled, I had this foul odor I couldn't get out of my house, but my house was clean. It was badness in my house I just couldn't get rid of. And when I say in my house, I don't mean physically in my house. I mean in my house, my heart, my house, me. That I wasn't letting go of all this badness because I couldn't do it by myself. I was not strong enough. He wanted me to reach out to him and give it all to him. And that's all we have to do. And that's what I did. And my life changed instantly, instantaneously. The minute he knew my heart and the minute I asked him to take it away because I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I had more to do in life than what I had been doing and what I have to do. And he let me know that. And to this day, everything, I am so humble, and everything I do is because of him. I don't do anything without talking to him first and getting confirmation from him and knowing what is right and what is wrong and standing firm and not wavering. And the temptations come, they do come. What you have to do is fight. You have to fight the temptations. Do not give in to them. Because the more you fight, the stronger you get. And the stronger you get, the more Satan doesn't like that. And Jesus will just keep blessing you and blessing you and blessing you. He will give you everything you need if you give him what he wants, you. He wants your heart. It's what he wants. He died for you. There's a reason for that. And my battle went on for days, and I was a warrior, and that's what I am now. I am a warrior. I'm a princess warrior, and I get out there and I spread it as not as much as I have. So this opportunity right now is awesome. And the Lord puts people in our lives for a reason. Like many years ago, you don't know why, but you know now. Wow, I know why that person's in my life now. There's a reason for it. There is a reason for all of it. You just have to give it to Jesus. Give him your heart. And when you start, and I say this too, I don't think with my mind as much anymore as I do my heart. Because once your heart opens up to Jesus, everything changes. Everything. The way you speak, the way you think, what you wear, just everything. You think about things way, way more when your heart is opened up to Jesus. And he will take all that away. In an instant, he will take it all away from you. In one instant, if you ask and you truly want it. Like I said in the beginning, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I thought I had this. I would quit for months at a time and then think I had it all under control. And I didn't. I would get blindsided. And I think, oh, I'll just have that one drink. It'll be okay. But every time I had that one drink, it was worse than the time before. Every time I tried to quit, it just would get worse and worse until I gave it to Jesus, because he is the healer.
Did you ever have a point where you were like, you went from not knowing if you believed to say, wow, he's real and he's there, and like that moment? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I knew he was real, but I think what I didn't believe that he could do. I knew he was real. I didn't really know him though. I had no personal relationship with him. So, I knew he was there because I had a lot of people. I was very blessed with having a lot of people intercessing for me, and a lot of people coming to my house, praying for me and trying to help me. So I knew he was there, but I had no personal relationship with him at all, But yeah, that's why when I was descending and actually dying, I knew who to reach out for, And I think we make it so complicated too, and it's not that hard, He's right there. He's right there always. Is just right there. You don't have to go searching because he's there. I knew who he was, but I didn't accept him. Because I had this, I got this, I don't need that. Did I ever say I don't need Jesus? I don't think I ever said that, but I didn't have to say it because I was living it. And I see these testimonies where people talk about how they were changed in an instant. And it can happen that way, and it does happen that way because he is there. He's right there all the time. He's there with us in everything. If we just open our heart and let him in, he'll help. You know, and the temptations are going to be there, and you just have to, you're stronger than any temptation out there with him beside you. He is right there.
Yeah, that's what you talked about with, was more kind of like what happened with Dwight, a very quick thing.
Mm-hmm.
With me, it was more of a struggle and a long-term tug of war thing. So, I mean, I get that everyone has a different experience.
Yeah, and everybody does.
But it sounds like, I mean, you know, the MAARS thing, that whole message, though, we're all in agreement that it's, you have to fix the whole person, not just managing the addiction.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Because, you know, we could go on. I could have, well, hypothetically speaking, quit drinking, you know, which I couldn't, though. But, I mean, if I quit drinking but I didn't allow the Lord into my heart, this would be a whole nother message, you know, and that's it. You know, this is about, you know, this recovering through the salvation. That's where I'm at. Salvation is what saved me. All day long, that's what saved me, was the salvation of Jesus Christ. You know, that's what saved me. And when he reached down and pulled me out of that, I was like, wow. And I knew when I woke up that one morning, and I knew when I didn't have the craving. And I remember laying there and asking, I laid there on the side, like, take this away, please, you know. I'm just so tired. I'm just sick and tired of I'm sick of feeling this way. I'm just sick and tired. And it wasn't even anything lengthy. It was actually real short and sweet when I was talking to God. I mean, I was talking to him. He was there, but I wasn't listening to him. You know, I wasn't listening to him. And yeah.
Yeah. Dwight and I talked about it. You know, everyone's different, and men or women are different. The one thing, the weight that's lifted off from our perspective was also, you know, God tells us when we sin against another person, we're sinning against him. Mm-hmm. And as guys who were in the situations we were in the music industry, mm-hmm. there came times when we started really having to come face to face with all the people we tromped all over and used and
oh yes,
threw away, and how God took that guilt. And, you know, of course, you know, getting the forgiveness of the other human beings is one thing, but it's very, very secondary and small when you know God himself has forgiven you. Mm-hmm. And that was a big part, was, like you said, the salvation. Like, if you would have just quit drinking, you could talk about quitting drinking, but it's a bigger thing, because it wasn't just one thing that you were saved from. It was the words that we often use when we're talking is being saved from ourselves.
Yeah.
My God, and so, which encompasses a lot more than just the addiction.
Yeah.
But the addiction is what, I guess. So that's awesome. I mean, I'm so happy to hear all this. That, I mean.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
I'm in agreement. I guess I didn't have another question. Just getting to that. Getting away from. If you could talk about that, being absolved from the guilt of the pain, or even not pain maybe you didn't inflict on other people, maybe pain that someone inflicted on you, which is another thing, forgiveness.
Yeah. You know, exactly. And I think, though, when I sit back and think about things now, I think about how I was such a gateway, and I had been entertaining this badness for so long. I thought it was okay. And then, you know, people were looking up to me and went, oh, I want to do what she's doing. And oh, come on over here. And what a gateway I was for people, you know, and how bad I feel. I'm like, wow. And you know, that was, you know, and the things that you sit and realize, like, you thought were just okay, we're not okay. They're just not okay. Yeah, you know, and so I sit and think about things like that too, you know, and I try to reach out to people from the past as well, that I glamorize badness, period, to them, you know, and try to talk to them and let them see I'm still Debbie, but I'm a different Debbie now, you know. I'm a different Debbie, but and it's okay. It is okay. Look, I'm fine. I am more humble now than I have ever been. I mean, I'm not making all that money, and it doesn't even matter. I'm happy. I'm happy. You know, people always talk about that. Don't you miss this? No, I don't miss any of it. I do not miss one iota of it, you
A
know.
lot of times, if you get all the stuff well, Dwight and I talk about having dreams in the music industry. Had we been given what we were pursuing, we both would be absolutely dead.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So chasing the world.
Yeah.
When you catch the world, it rolls over you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it does. Yeah. You know, because I became that raging alcoholic that I would make fun of in the bars. I'd be like, oh man, look at that. Or, you know, the one I didn't want to be around that was drinking so heavily. And I was like, oh my goodness, look at that. Would you just look at that? I became that. And that, wow, you know, and without even realizing it, it just, you know, it just snuck up on me. And like I said, I kept trying and trying. I think sometimes when people are in these battles, when they keep trying so hard to get away from it and get away from those things, they got to understand the spiritual warfare that they are in at that point too, because it doesn't want to let go of you.
So you're on a bus and some person that was just like you years ago as an alcoholic and tells you their entire life story, and the bus is coming to stop. You got to get off. What's the last thing you say to them before you get off the bus?
Definitely give it to Jesus. And God bless you. I would have a lot to say. I could say just one thing. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. You know, God bless you. Give it to Jesus because He's right here waiting for you to give it up. And that's it.